death, the person is there, but their mind isn't there. Their personality isn't there. It's a horrible thing. But think if there was an effective treatment for that terrible disease, not only Alzheimer's, but Parkinson's and maybe Lou Gehrig's. Well, our medical reporter, Laurie Johnson, brought us that story, and the answer is yes. And guess what? A simple treatment is called coconut oil, and more than 5 million people watched that story on our CBN News website. Now, Laurie tells us that some heavy hitters in the Alzheimer's medical establishment are also taking notice.
Steve Newport's Alzheimer's symptoms reversed after he started taking coconut oil. His wife documented Steve's astounding progress in her book, Alzheimer's Disease: What If There Was a Cure? This clock test illustrates his dramatic improvement. Here's his clock drawing before the coconut oil. 2 weeks into the treatment, he drew this. And look at the change after 5 weeks. Steve's story spread like wildfire, and his wife is busy gathering the reaction.
Some of these responses have been quite dramatic, and I do have a collection now of almost 220 reports, mostly from caregivers and some from the person themselves, reporting that they saw improvement after they started taking coconut oil.
All these testimonials are turning the Alzheimer's community on its ear. For example, at the world-renowned Bird Alzheimer's Institute, people can't stop talking about them.
When a patient or a family member comes in with a patient and they're interviewing with the physicians, they always have a question. I've heard about coconut oil. What's going on with that? At least up until this time, all we can say is there's anecdotal information that it may be beneficial. There hasn't been any kind of research study that's ever been done.
That's about to change with the Institute's first study of how coconut oil affects human beings with Alzheimer's. If the study finds evidence that coconut oil helps, doctors will finally have the proof they need to begin recommending it to their patients.
I think that they feel uncomfortable making a recommendation of something that they don't feel justified by the science behind it. And that's part of the reason we're going to do the study, is to determine, can we then provide that justification?
Here's how it appears the coconut oil works. In patients with Alzheimer's, insulin resistance prevents their brain cells from accepting glucose, their primary fuel. Without it, the cells die. But there is an alternate fuel known as ketones, which cells easily accept. Ketones are metabolized in the liver after eating coconut oil. Insulin resistance doesn't just affect people who have Alzheimer's, but also folks with dementia, MS, diabetes, Parkinson's, ALS, even autism. So can coconut oil help these people too? It appears so, at least some of them. Doctors diagnosed Sam Stout with Parkinson's disease 7 years ago. He soon began losing the ability to perform many functions. But 5 months ago, he started taking coconut oil, and his life changed again.
I can now write. I've written letters, which I hadn't done in 3 years. I can swirl a wine glass. I can beat an egg. I can grate cheese, all these things I couldn't do. And I think I have better balance.
He also noticed mental and emotional improvement.
I think I'm clear-headed, more clear-headed. People have said to me, you look great this year. And I can only attribute it to the coconut oil because that's the only thing that has changed.
Then there's Butch Matchlin, an American living in Mexico City. He's suffered with ALS for almost 5 years and says his symptoms have reversed thanks to coconut oil.
Yeah, I can pick up, yeah. And there was a time when I had difficulty with that, okay? Not just picking it up, but it was just holding on, just getting a hold of it, okay? Getting my fingers to go around it, okay? And that's gone.
While Butch isn't walking perfectly, his legs are stronger and about to get even better.
I have bad knees, okay, from the past, okay? But now, okay, I've improved enough that the doctors have said that I qualify for a new knee in my left leg.
So while not everyone has experienced great results with coconut oil, there are plenty who have. Enough that the medical community will spend time and money learning exactly who it helps and why.
Lori, breakthrough science. There's medical. All right, let's go through. This stuff is kind of like butter. How do you take it?
Well, you buy it at the store.
yeah.
I get mine at Walmart. It's
Okay.
$5 for one of these containers.
Okay.
And I just scoop it out. It has the consistency of butter.
Butter, yeah, right.
It's solid at room temperature. And I just microwave about a tablespoon every morning and throw it back.
Oh, you do. You melt it in the microwave.
Right. Now, some people will put it in their oatmeal and bake it in food, but I just want to go ahead and just take it. I don't need to put it with my food.
Of course, you probably disagree with grilled cheese sandwiches, but I use whole wheat bread, but I use coconut oil, put it in a frying pan, and they're delicious.
I have substituted all oils. I use coconut oil. I bake with it instead of using vegetable oil. I cook with it, just like what you were saying. So, no, I applaud you for that.
Okay, I'm glad I'm applauded.
I'm not going to get mad at you.
All right, well, now let's get to the science of it. You say this gets into the liver and releases ketones?
Ketones, that's the key ingredient, because they're thinking that a lot of these diseases like Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, ALS, even maybe autism, that for some reason glucose, which is the primary fuel source, isn't getting into the brain cells. But ketones are an alternate fuel source, and that's what you get from eating coconut oil, but they're really not found anywhere else.
But now the glucose is just sugar, isn't it? I mean,
That's from regular food.
regular food.
Yeah.
But the people with Alzheimer's, they don't process the glucose?
That's what the thinking is that glucose is not getting into their brain cells, and so the brain cells die. But ketones are a different kind of fuel, but the only place you can find them, coconut oil.
The only place you can